guys, it's your girl Domestic Key, and I'm back with another video. So today, I want to talk to you guys about abundance and being abundant, and what that means, and how you could be more abundant in your life, and things like that. So when it comes to abundance, first of all, being abundant just means that, the way I look at it, it means like you are in a space where you are open to receive everything naturally, everything that you ask for, everything that is meant for you. You're just in a space where you're receptive to receive from the universe or God or whatever you believe in. Now, with that being said, I believe that everything on this earth is meant for us. Like, I don't believe there's nothing on this earth that isn't meant for us to enjoy if it's something that you want to enjoy. Like, for instance, every day there's new luxury cars and properties, and there's nature, there's foods, there are, people, there are just electronics, technology, so many different things on this earth that we can experience and that we can explore. And I believe that everything that is here is meant to be experienced, and it's meant for us to enjoy. I think that's one of the best things about this experience that we have on this earth, is to have the full experience, to stay in the best places, to travel to the best places, like to fly private if that's what you choose, to experience the best boats, to just experience everything that you desire to experience while you are experiencing this life. But unfortunately, a lot of times, because of conditioning and just programming and just so many different things, projections and perspectives, sometimes we get in a mental space where we don't really see life that way. And I know sometimes we get in these cycles mentally where we just get these negative thoughts or whatever about life and where life is going, or where we've come from, or what the future may hold. And when you get in these type of cycles, what you have to realize is that you're actually manifesting, because we're manifesting all the time. Like, we're manifesting whether we like to or not. Like, whatever we're focusing on, whatever we're thinking about, whether it's positive or negative, that's what we're bringing into our reality. So unfortunately, when you get in this program of these negative mental cycles, and we all have them, and I think you just have to be very practical and very intentional about kind of getting out of those cycles. But that's another conversation for another time. But unfortunately, when we get in these cycles, we don't realize that we are actually bringing in things that we may want or we may not want, based off of whatever we're thinking. We're just conditioned to kind of think in like a lack mind state, mental state. So what I wanted to make this video for was just to give you guys a tip that has helped me be in more of a abundant mindset, and just share how it has pivoted things in my life. I can remember being in my early 20s and just growing up in the family that I grew up in, and the reality, the neighborhoods that I come from, and that majority of the people who look like me come from. When it comes to money, it's just like the relationship between me and money just was never positive. It was never spoken in a way where it was like an abundant thing, or that it was like plentiful. So I was obviously conditioned to think of money in a lack mentality. Like, we don't have enough. We can't afford that. You can't get that. Like, can't, not, don't. You just, like, all of these words when it comes to these things, you know, we can't have that car. We can't afford that car. The main thing is just we can't afford. And that's a big thing that people really attach to themselves. Like, we can't afford that. But I feel like that's like one of the worst thoughts that you can ever take on. Like, you can afford it. You just haven't figured out how to yet. You definitely can afford it. You just haven't figured out how to attract the money. But just having that negative relationship with money just really kept me down for a nice amount of years. I remember being in a space where I got my first apartment. Well, actually, my second apartment, not my first apartment, but my first apartment, that's a different story. But my second apartment, I'll talk about that one, because that one is a little bit more practical as to where I was in that space. So I just remember being in that place and just being like super broke. Like, when I got to the point where I can pay my rent, I didn't have no money. I didn't have no extra money to do anything. And I just remember certain days where I had to decide, like, you know, I got $5 to my name. Like, it was a car wash up the street that I would go work at, like, honestly, with a bunch of guys. I was the only girl. I would just work that car wash sometimes just to get extra money in my pocket for whatever that day. And I just remember having like a couple dollars and having to decide, like, am I going to go to McDonald's and get some food, or am I going to walk out to the street and hop on this bus and go to work, wherever at the club I was working at the time. And just having to make that decision, like, being in a position where I was like broke, and honestly, and to be honest with you guys, I wasn't the worst off person in my family. Like, I wasn't even, like, I was actually the person that was like grinding, like, still had my head above water, even at that young of an age, just still had my head above water, still kind of making ends meet, but really like fucked up, like down, like don't really have much of anything to buy anything that I needed. And just looking back then, one thing that really changed my life, like, I don't want to make this video too long, I want to get right into it. Like, one thing that really changed me and my perspective, and I want to share this with you guys, because I think if you're going through something similar, or you're realizing or wondering, like, why when it comes to money, like, I can't get over that hump. Like, it's all mental. It's a mental thing. And the thing that changed for me was, like, the lack mentality. Like, when I got to a position where I stopped looking at money as like a scarce thing, like trying to hold on to it, I think that's when things started to move for me. Like, things started to pivot a little bit. Like, think about it. Most people who struggle with money, or just like don't ever have it, always down, like always borrow money, always trying to, you know, make ends meet, those are the people that's holding on to their money so tight, and they're willing to take from other people or ask to borrow money, and they're just doing it so willingly, willing to take from people. They just taking. And these are the people that just can't ever get over the hump, that can't ever make ends meet. They can't ever, like, be up. Like, it doesn't happen. So I think for me, something that happened, for like something that clicked in my mind, and I don't know, I can't really say exactly when or what took place. I think when I got to the point where I didn't look at money in like a scarcity way anymore. Like, I started to flow into abundance when I would give, and I would just give. I'm not gonna say my last, but I was willing to give, like, in any way that I could. You know, whether, you know, if I had a car and I was the person that would give, you know, somebody a ride, or if somebody didn't have lunch, I would, you know, pay for their lunch. or just get them a couple dollars. Like when I got to a space where I started to do that, I think things really changed for me. And one particular moment I can remember, like right before I moved to that apartment, I was in between places and I was staying with a family member. And up until that point, if I ever stay with a family member or something, you probably just stand there off of like just, somebody looking out for you. But this specific family member, they were like, nah, you're going to pay. You're going to pay to stay. And I was like, at first I probably was just like, man, what? Like I wasn't cool with that. But looking back, that's one of the best things that happened to me. Like that, because I remember it being all around that same time. I'm like, that's one of the things that really changed the game for me. That changed my life because it was like, I'm not just taking from this person and just accepting this just because I'm family. It's like, nah, I'm working. I'm going to work and then I'm going to pay you, whatever it was at the time. Might have been 300, 400, whatever a month. And helping around the house too, and just you bringing value, just being valuable. Like that was the thing that really changed the game for me. And when I got in that situation and I was told like, you're gonna be responsible, you're gonna pay. And I'm like, man, at first I probably had a little resistance, and I'm like, man, this wild. Like, cause I'm so used to people just, looking out for me, I guess, or just wanting or feeling entitled, kind of like people should look out for me. And then I'm like, man, I gotta pay. And but yeah, it's one of the things that just changed everything for me, because I feel like after that moment in my life, like going forward, I kind of got in a position where I always wanted to be valuable, and I always wanted to pay my way. And what I noticed happen was when I started to give, I started to get so much. Like stuff just started to come to me. And it's like now looking back, all of these years later, looking back, like now in my life, like I give, like I'm a go-giver. And there's actually a book called The Go-Giver. I haven't read it, so I'm not like plugging it or anything, but I hear great things about it. But I think it's just a great mentality to have. Like, and it just came naturally to me. Like, I give, like, and it's just like, it takes me to like an abundant place where when I look up, like I haven't wanted for anything for a long time now. Like, a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, trying to get ends meet. Like, I haven't lived in that space in years. Like damn near a decade. Like, honestly with y'all. Honestly, y'all, like damn near a decade. It's not quite a decade, but like coming up on a decade soon, in a few years. And I think the one thing that changed, obviously my mindset and the way that I look at things, but just being in a space where I'm just giving. I give. Any chance I can, I give. Now, when I say you should give, I'm not saying it from a spot like, because you have to be careful, coming from a place where like, I like to say I'm a recovering people pleaser. Like coming from a space where like you might do stuff for people just because you're trying to get your needs met. Like, I'm not saying do it from that place. I'm not saying like a person who go to the club and like throw money on girls, or like buy the bar out for their friends, or like I'm not talking about that. I'm saying giving in a place where you're really looking out for people, like people who genuinely deserve it or are being valuable, like bringing a service to you, and you're paying for that service to help move the economy or to move, whatever. Or if I'm like out and I may see a woman, a mother with like a few children, and they're out and they're just, she's doing the best that she can. I'll look out for her. Or like somebody's out there like working, like carrying bags. Someone who's trying to bring value is what I'm saying. Don't just do it blindly. just, just for whatever, to look cool, or, just to be, just doing the most. Like, nah, do it really, like, from, like, the kindness of your heart, for people who deserve it, who you see willingly deserves it. And just give. And I think that's the thing that has changed the game for me. Like, that has been the thing that got me into, like, this abundance flow. And ever since I kind of had that epiphany, and I've been in the space of just giving, 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 so many doors and so many opportunities has just become available to me. And it's crazy because I think a part of it is to do with the giving and the abundance of it. But I think another part of it is once you start to see, like, the universe kind of conform to you, it does give you more confidence. It gives you, it's like just more of an abundant mindset, and then you start to just possess this certain type of energy and this certain type of vibration, and you become more confident and more sure of yourself and your capabilities, and then it all just kind of comes together. So I think that's definitely something that you want to keep in mind on this journey. So with that being said, guys, I hope that you got a ton of value out of this video. I would like to let you guys know that I did put together a space for us to just connect with each other, communicate with each other. I have all different type of trainings when it comes to just being more abundant, manifesting, being more emotionally intelligent, just getting more in tune with your spirit, your soul, who you really are at the core in the Patreon, guys. I changed some stuff over there because initially I was just putting like business, real estate stuff in there, as well with more so like spiritual and self-development stuff in there. But I think it was important for me to kind of separate it, because obviously some people, everybody who wants to do the business stuff don't want to do the spiritual stuff, and vice versa. So the Patreon is specifically for you guys who are interested in taking your self-development to the next level when it comes to just being more abundant, manifesting more, everything like that. So definitely tap in with me on the Patreon. I have some really, really great things in there, and so much more coming for you guys. So go ahead and click that link. It's in the description. And also, I put together a 2-part training for you guys called Activate and Manifest. Now, this thing is so live. The reason I put it together is just to show you guys, because like I said, I speak so much about business, and obviously I'm going to continue to always, talk about that. But a big part of my success has to do with my mindset, manifestation, and just the way that I look at things and the way that I go into things. I would be doing you guys a disservice if I didn't let you know how I actually came to, just get in this space of being more abundant and being more open to manifesting and things like that. So anyway, this training is 2 parts. The first side is Activate. It's pretty much going to explain everything to you, what you need to do to get your mind, your body, and your spirit like ready, like activating yourself for your manifestations. And then the other side is called Manifest, and I'm giving you all the techniques and the steps for you to actually manifest the things. Like when I studied the master, all of these techniques, all of these actual practices that I learned, I'm going to show you guys exactly what I did, okay? So Activate and Manifest, it is launching February 22nd, 2023. Right now it's on pre-sale at a crazy discount. If you're interested in getting in there, go ahead and hit that link in the description. You can manifest anything. Like if you're looking to attract a certain person into your life, if you're looking to have a family, have kids, you want the house, you want the white picket fence, you want the cars, you want the money, you want the career. It doesn't matter, guys. This works for any of it. So the lifestyle that you can bring into fruition through this training is going to be crazy compared to the peanuts that it costs. So if you're interested in that, make sure you go ahead and hit that link in the description, because it is available and it is ready for you. That's all I got for you this video, guys. I hope you got a ton of value out of it. Until the next time. Peace.